The images of protests, the signs calling for racial equality are all too common for civil rights activists who took the streets decades ago in St. Louis.
The Jefferson Bank protests in the 1960s sparked major changes in hiring practices in the city. 5 on your side's Christina Coleman spoke with 2 people who took part, and they have a message to share with younger activists. Christina?
Right, so these activists were out and about a lot in the community back in the 1960s, and they say they do not agree with the Stockley verdict, but they say it's important for young people who are out here protesting to make sure their message doesn't get lost in violence. What you see behind me right here, crime scene tape, police down here investigating, they say that is sending the wrong message, and people are losing the point of all of this, which is to encourage change.
Oh, freedom, oh, freedom.
Local folk singer Gladys Moore performed to raise money for civil rights demonstrations in the 1960s. She was just 17 years old when she walked the picket line during the Jefferson Bank protests.
Know your purpose. Know why you are there.
St. Louis activist Donald Gammon also took part in the Jefferson Bank protests. He says they had a clear-cut strategy to change discriminatory hiring practices. They met with many business leaders, took part in city elections, and marched consistently.
2 hours every day, and that was the strategy.
I knew that we needed to change, and so that's why I was there every day, and I think I was there 6 months without ever missing a day.
They also raised thousands of dollars by inviting celebrities like comedian Dick Gregory to fundraisers. They used the money to bond activists out of jail who were peacefully participating in sit-ins and other demonstrations.
They didn't want to stay in there that long. I know when the first time I went to jail, I said that I would stay as long as possible. But when they closed them doors, the first thing I did was call my parents.
And lastly, they tried their best to keep it peaceful.
Violence is never the answer. Peaceful protest using Martin Luther King's philosophy will always prevail.
And also interesting to note in that story that all of the people that we spoke to, well, there were actually 4 in the room. You saw maybe 2 or 3 there, but they met in the 1960s during the protests, and decades later, they are still friends. And they say to all of the people that are protesting now, it is very, very important to remain peaceful if you really want to get some change and some policies different on the books in terms of laws. All right, back to you.